it's time for a visit with 25th District Congressman Roger Williams. Welcome, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Absolutely wonderful. And listen, every chat with you is timely. We can talk about stuff in the news, but there are a couple of things as we assemble a list of people who decided after a business career. I mean, Brandon Gill is so young, but there you had experience in business and some things that dabbled a lot in Texas politics. But as far as being elected to various things, not so much. And you decided to be a member of Congress. Do you think we're in an era where a lot of political experience is lovely, but that just may not be the first thing voters are looking for here in the 2020s?
No, I think, the more people get involved and watch politics, I think they begin to think, we need some fresh blood in there. I mean, that's the reason I ran about 15 years ago, because I didn't think anybody was fighting for me. I didn't think they were fighting for small business. I didn't think they were fighting for Main Street. And just because you've been up there a long time could actually be a hindrance in the fact that you lose sight of what's out in the real world and what people are going through. And you mentioned Brandon. He's a good young man. And, he never had the experience of running before. I never did either. But look, it's good to get new viewpoints. And right now, the way we are in Washington, it's probably better than not to have fresh voices to be heard and younger voices, quite frankly, in many cases.
The other thing that I really wanted to talk about with you, and this is just so particularly timely for you to be here with your experience in the automotive industry, I want people to know and appreciate and understand the value of environmental sanity and what a magnificent day it was yesterday when the Trump administration took the greenhouse gas cram down out of the EPA's lexicon and said, look, if you want to have all kinds of restrictive, economy-crushing, choice-robbing things, Congress is going to have to stand up there and actually pass them. We're going to take that stupid stop-start off of cars. We're going to let people buy the cars that they want. This was great, not just for your industry, but for America, for consumer choice. Just a glorious, glorious development.
No, it was good. I mean, until Obama, in America, we never forced people to buy certain things. Choice was and competition was always what drove it. But this was the right thing to do yesterday. And, in my industry, it's going to allow now the manufacturer to make what I want to sell, and the buyer's going to be able to buy what they want to buy. And that's important. I mean, Mark, we were heading toward a 65 mile per gallon threshold under Biden. But in aluminum vehicles, they wouldn't pull anything. We would be forced to buy and sell what we didn't want. So it's great. It's great legislation, and we hope too. I mean, the dealers will be standing with the customers now. We're going to look at the manufacturer and say, you don't have to put all this equipment on. Let's see a price decrease.
When we take a look at the various things that government does and the various stories that come along, it seems like every few weeks we've had another government shutdown deadline. What's the latest on the current one heading into the weekend, heading into the rest of February? Because we had this settled a couple of weeks ago for just about everything but DHS. So what's hanging under the guillotine right now?
Well, the Democrats are they're forcing a shutdown. I mean, the fact of the matter is, who shouldn't be excited about defending Homeland Security and TSA agents and Secret Service, and list goes on and on and on. But they've made it political. They want to not vote on this because they're not sure what they want to do with Homeland Security. They pulled it out of the appropriations. We got all the bills passed appropriation-wise, but this one. So we're on a shutdown basically due to the fact of them withholding support for this one agency and those that surround it. So it's pure political. Frankly, they got funded, Homeland was funded in the big, beautiful bill. So they're holding these other agencies hostage. And it's a shame because they just recovered from the last one the Democrats started. So we'll see what happens. But defending America is pretty damn important to everybody.
Indeed. Here's another thing that's really important to people right now. And speaking of people's resume, you were Texas Secretary of State, so you know a little something about election security, about election reliability. What is the holdup for the SAVE Act? Why isn't this the most obvious thing in recent legislative history?
This stuff is easy. This says if you're a citizen and you have to prove it, then you can vote. And of course, the Democrats always say, well, that's dead on arrival. It's for one reason, Mark, and you talk about it all the time. The fact of the matter is they want illegals to be able to vote so they can control every election. And that breaks the law. And the SAVE Act simply says that you need a government ID, that a driver's license or a passport that has your picture and says who you are, and you can vote and realize the great opportunities this country has through voting. But if you're illegal and you don't even know how to say the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever it may be, you're not a good candidate to be voting. That's all the SAVE Act does. It's bipartisan. We need to pass it, but that's where we are right now.
Well, and also, because here you are in the House, and we'd always want to point down the hall and say it's their fault, but it is Senate procedures. It's that flippin' filibuster that keeps this from being the case. It takes 60 votes to overcome what would be a Democrat filibuster. Mike Lee's on board for getting rid of it. Ron Johnson's on board for getting rid of it. Brother Cornyn has a newfound MAGA familiarity that he's working on to try to beat Ken Paxton. He hasn't been real vocal about getting rid of it. It all comes down to Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who just doesn't seem to want to get rid of the filibuster.
Well, and I'm disappointed there. I mean, the truth of the matter is we all know, too, that if the Democrats ever get in power, they will do away with the filibuster. And that's what President Trump has always said. Well, we're in control, and the world is different. The world is different than it was in the past. And while we're in control, we need to pass conservative legislation that 75 million people voted for us to do by electing President Trump. So I would hope that they get that on the floor, take a look at the filibuster. Like you said, 51 can, a simple majority can pass the SAVE Act, and then we can actually save elections in the future.
So it's interesting. We have the text line that people are asking me stuff, and they hit me with stuff when you're on, because it's sometimes it's congressional stuff, and sometimes it is automotive stuff when you're here, because it's always great. Somebody asked, is the V8 dead? I mean, will we be able to get hardly anything with a V8 anymore?
Well, I think if people want it, they're going to get it, and especially now after this legislation, because now these manufacturers don't have to average out what their EPA miles per gallon standard is like they used to do before. They'd make more of something and less of less to get the average, and now they won't have to do that. So if the consumer wants the V8, they're going to get the V8.
Well, I hope so, because that's what it ought to be about, is consumer choice at all times. All right, last thing for our last couple of minutes. Everything is about winning the midterms. There are some occasional special elections, including one in Texas, that Democrats have taken a look at and said, it's coming. Change is coming. James Carville says we're going to get obliterated in the midterms. I don't turn to James Carville for wisdom on most things. But what would you like to have happen? What would you tell people who are running as Republicans, trying to keep their jobs, trying to flip seats? What is the best logical path toward us doing well and expanding our leads in the Senate and the House on November 3rd?
Well, I believe we're going to be successful. I really do. I think in a way we start out ahead of the game because the other side is so disengaged and out of it. But all that being said, we got to get our vote out. If we vote as conservatives and Republicans, we win every time. If we don't, we lose. We have to be engaged. We have to be willing to fight for our policies and what we believe in, because everything President Trump has done will go away if we lose the midterm elections. So I think we'll win, but we have to be aggressive. We have to be heard. We can't be passive. We have to speak what we believe. We have to debate when we can, but not shy away from the fray, because this is, again, here we go, most important election of our lifetime.
It's funny, and it's like the boy who cried wolf, except it's not, because especially in these times, every election is an opportunity where we either keep we try to get rid of insanity, which is what we tried to do, and we didn't always succeed back through the generations. And if we achieve sanity is always extinct, one election away. Right. So it's true. We're not being over dramatic at all.
No, we have to vote. I mean, and that was evidence in the election you referred to that we had a couple of weeks ago. People need to get out and vote. You don't make a statement by not voting. Because you give the other side the vote if you don't vote. So that's what we need to be doing, and we win. That's
it. All right. The congressional website is williams.house.gov, and the Roger Williams Twitter feed is Rep R Williams there on the old X account. Roger Williams, Texas 25. Thank you, sir. Always appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you, Mark.
God bless you. Congressman Roger Williams.